My name is Prerna. I am studying with M.Sc. in Mortality University. So today I am going to present my project, the statistical analysis to study child mortality in India, influence of socioeconomic, health and contraceptive factors. So in that study, we have to analyze the infant mortality rate, endocrine mortality rate, and neonatal mortality rate. Infant mortality rate means a child whose age is less than 1 year. Uh, of that child death rate is called infant mortality rate, and child whose age is under 5 years, whose death rate is under 5 mortality rate. And neonatal mortality rate, which means the child whose age is less than 28 days, whose death rate is called the neonatal mortality rate. We know the child mortality is not only the health issue, it is national development issue. That's why we choose this topic to study on that. In that, we take the objectives. First is to summarize and describe basic feature distribution and the variability of the study, variable using the discrete statistic method. Second is to analyze the composition of contrastive method approaching the aspect, identify regional variation in method reference. Third one is to examine the association between contraceptive prevalence and total fertility rate. Next is compare under 5 mortality rate between rural and urban areas. Next is to compare infant mortality rate and under mortality rate across Indian states and assess the relative burden of child mortality. Next is to examine the relation between female literacy and infant mortality rate across Indian states and to compare disparities between rural and urban areas. Next one is to examine the effect of socioeconomic, maternal, and healthcare factor on infant mortality rate and also on neonatal mortality rate using beta regression. Last one is to analyze the compare neonatal mortality rate across different zones of India for both rural and urban areas. In that, we have to use the method as first. We take the data in NFHS website and we use the descriptive statistics to find the descriptive call data. This is done by using the real statistics package in Excel. In that, we also use the superior test, here my correlation, and with usage for rural urban comparison, beta regression for identify key features, analyzing performance using R Studio. That's regression and manual test or here my correlation analysis that's done using R. In that data set variable. In descriptive statistics, we have to see here. The mean of the infant mortality rate is greater than IMR and NMR also. And we know infant mortality rate also include the infant mortality rate because it takes the death rate to age 5 child. These are the descriptive of our data. Mean of IMR is 25.94, infant mortality is 30.95, NMR is 18.16. IMR and the 5 mortality rate, so high availability, NMR is more stable, all variables are slightly positive skewed. So normality case we don't for IMR and the 5 mortality. So not normal because C value is less than 0.05. So our null hypothesis is rejected. For NMR, our NMR is normally distributed because our C value is greater than 0.05, that is it's not accepted. So we conclude that the child mortality indicators show variability and skewness with IMR in the inward not following normal distribution. So for the second objective, we have to done by Sakupata, present Sakupata. Then we have to clearly observe that female sterilization are mostly used in all states of India. There are clearly observe the gender imbalance with contraceptive substitutes. We have to use the test, Spearman and correlation test. In that, we have to take the variable total contraceptive matrix, total fertility rate, and our statistic value is from 6.834, and correlation is coming minus 0.1067. That means total contraceptive practice and total fertility is negatively correlated, but only the total contraceptive factor not effect on the total fertility rate. it is slightly less on rural fertility rate. Next, for next objective, we have to done using the nutrition types and tests, that is managed uses. We have to compare between rural and urban areas. So here we take the variable under mortality area. So first, our test statistic values from is 7.5 and P values from 0.01343. So here P value is less than 0.05, that is statistically significant. We conclude that there is difference in under 5 mortality rate between rural and urban area. So now, next objective is state-wise IMR and mortality rate comparison. Here we clearly see that these are the in decay form. That is the mortality rate is go to the southern state like Kerala. We have to observe the under 5 mortality rate and infant mortality rate is less as compared to other central or northern states. Next picture we have to do is in the dot plot. Here we observe the we have to compare IMR and female literacy. So we can here see that there is a correlation between infant mortality rate and female literacy. Female literacy increase, the infant mortality rate will be decreased. And also the rural area has more infant mortality rate as compared to urban area. So that for next objective we have to use zone-wise comparison for the NMR. So we have to here clearly observe that a central is north zone shows the maximum NMR rate. So it's south and west zone. In rural, in urban, we have to see central is north zone shows the where NMR as compared to the south. So we here clearly see that has more less neonatal mortality rate as compared to other zones. Mm, Then we have to observe that both neonatal mortality rate in rural and urban area. The rural area has the maximum neonatal mortality rate as compared to urban. So now next one is we have to use the beta regression for the comparing the or if showing seeing the effect of several factors on the infant mortality rate and also on the side of the neonatal mortality rate. So we have to here see the total vaccination are positively significant effect on the under 5 mortality rate and also the early PF also significantly on the under 5 mortality rate. And when we see the for under 5 NMR, so to see here the route vaccination is not restricting diet. It's also positively significant effect on NMR. These are the model forms for IMR and NMR. Overall conclusion is the statistical analysis results. The child mortality in India is influenced by multiple socioeconomic health factors. The data is normal, specified, use the non-parametric test. Significant rural urban differences are observed with higher mortality in rural areas. Correlation of regression results show that the factors such as female literacy, early breastfeeding, vaccination, and maternal health care play an important role in the reducing mortality. However, regional disparities shows with the central and eastern region showing the higher mortality rate. Overall, improving healthcare access, maternal practice, and education is essential for the reducing child mortality. Suggestions studies to improve the healthcare facilities in rural areas, promote female education, increase awareness of maternal and childhood, center vaccination programs, encourage early breastfeeding, increase sanitation and clean water access. So where is the reference? We have to take the data in NFS and we use that statistical analysis made using Microsoft Excel. Okay, thank you.